What's up, guys? This is Aaron, and it is time for college football week 3 best bets. We are 24-8 on the season. That's 75%. And plus 14 units on the season. Not bad. So we sweated out a little bit the Houston game tonight, -4, but they did cover easily. We also had a late ad, Indiana -46.5. They covered easily. So that brings us to 24-8. You have to get in the Discord to get all those plays. Some I post on Twitter, and then some I'll have here. All right, so let's get started. We have FAU versus FIU. FAU is +2.5. That's current. So I've got 3 for you here that are all going to fall kind of under the same strategy here. All right, FAU is 17-4 in this series. So they've won 17 out of 21 in this rivalry. All right, they've won the last 7 straight, and they've won all of them by 18-plus points. So every win is by margin here. So whether they're the better team, equal team, not as good, they just kind of have their number here, and they don't just beat them, they beat them by margin. So let's go FAU +2.5. The second game, South Carolina is at home in Williams-Brice Stadium versus Vanderbilt. South Carolina is -3. All right, so South Carolina with a pretty good home field edge. They play really good on special teams. A lot of people are going to look at this and say, well, they have a common opponent, Virginia Tech. And Vanderbilt beat them by margin, where South Carolina only beat them by 13. So, yeah, that you can use a common opponent to an extent, but really in this series, you have South Carolina is 30-4. So they've won 30 out of 34 head-to-head. All right, they've won 16 in a row. So that tells you that they take this game really seriously. This is usually a game they need to win in order to get to a bowl game. So this is an important game to them. It's not just important to Vanderbilt. It is a rivalry. South Carolina's dominated. I don't think there's a huge difference, offensively, defensively, coaching. I do give South Carolina a bit of an edge in special teams, a little bit of home field advantage here. Plus, they've dominated the series. So let's go South Carolina -3. The third one is going to be Tennessee, Georgia. This game is played in Tennessee, in Knoxville, and Georgia's -3. All right, so this started at like -7, 6.5, 7, something like that for Georgia. It got bet all the way down to 3. I think it's -3.5 to 4 now. So find a 3.5. 4 is okay. Don't go any higher than 4 because all those numbers are available currently. So another one where Georgia has dominated this rivalry series. It doesn't matter where they play, home, away. Georgia has won 8 straight in the series. Kirby Smart has won every game against Josh Heupel. So Tennessee, they let Nico Iamaleava go at quarterback. They bring in Joey Aguilar, really from Appalachian State. I like him, but he's a baller. He throws a lot of vertical passes, but you're kind of going to have to live with the bad as you take the good. He'll throw into triple coverage, get picked off. He's fumbled a ton of times at Appalachian State, really cost them games. I watched a lot of their ball because, I bet on them from time to time. So, he can push the ball downfield, he can run, but you're also going to have to take, some of those bad plays too. And really here, Georgia is by far the best defense that he's played, like in his whole college career. If you look back, he's played like North Carolina. There's maybe a couple of Power 4 teams he's played here and there, but it's mostly been G5 competition. And then, the first 2 weeks, of course, he looks really good. But, you're playing Syracuse that we've seen struggle mightily with UConn last week. And then, they played East Tennessee State. That's not really, you can't really show much whether you do well or not anyway. So, this is by far the best defense he's going to play. I think Kirby's got a little something for them. So let's go Georgia -3.5. The last one is going to be Oklahoma versus Temple. So Oklahoma, I don't know how they got to this scheduling spot, but they're playing Temple at Temple. So this game is in Philly. So this is a kind of a strange situation for Oklahoma. You're coming off of, a really good win against a name brand team with Michigan. You beat them by double digits, played extremely well. And then next week you have Auburn at home. So that is an extremely important game. It's an SEC game. And now in between you got this like sandwich spot where you have Temple. You got to go on the road all the way to the northeast coast, right? And the total is 52. This is a noon kickoff, so it's going to be kind of like an early game. Are they really going to be, up and awake, ready to, score 40, 50 points here? I don't necessarily think so. A lot of times on the road, the defense will travel, so maybe you can get, your normal good defensive effort, even if the offense doesn't necessarily come out swinging early. So I think under 52 here is a good play, and hope for, a first quarter where nobody's doing much, maybe right before halftime, Oklahoma scores a few, and maybe not get enough variance to push this over. So we'll go under 52. That'll be 4 for you. I've got a bunch more in the Discord. We've already cashed. We're 2-0 this week. So I'll put my handles and information in the info. Follow me, like, subscribe, and let's cash.